Okay, welcome back to week 11. Today I'm going to do the outer skin of the quarter panel. Okay, so last week I did the internals of the quarter panel. This section here and this section here, about 3 rust patches. It's the first time that I've welded and first time that I've fabricated anything. So pretty happy with the result in the end. So today I'm going to try and attempt to fit this rare spares section, rust repair patch here. And I'm going to try and cut it back, and then I've already got this section here, so I'll try and fit it without going up into this section here, because I think that that's pretty good metal. I just don't need to cut that out if I don't need to. All down here is pretty much where it was hacked. So I'll try and follow that. I'll maybe go a tad higher here to get rid of this bit buckled. So yeah, first I'll try and trim this section out, get it pretty much where I want it to be. And then I would use this, or cut this, and then mark that where I want it to be cut here, and then retrim this again. So a bit of work involved, but I'll just take my time and slowly get there. So I've managed to trim this panel down a little bit, cut off the top section of this curve here. I've trimmed it about 1 inch along here, and it's followed this little seam line here because I don't want to go up into this area. This is actually a bracket there, so I can just sort of hug that seam line there. It's going to add more strength and also hide the weld marks. And then I'll come basically like that to there, and I'll trim this guard area to around about where that lip comes in. I'll just start to finesse from there and pull that up from the base. Yeah, and then I think I'll just sort of hammer and dolly from there, trim, grind, and I'll eventually get there. Alright, so I've made a main cut along here and a cut around here and then an inset there. And I've slightly bent this. This is like quite far down. So I've just brought it up, not to quite to 90 degrees, but just a little bit further up because that tends to be the angle that it is. So I think when it comes out of the press, it's not really accurate. And then I've just cut a little lip here. So I'm going to start test fitting it with some clamps, but just want to sort of get it right here first, then clamp it, and then because it's obviously there's still another like mill here and here, it's not fitting it in snug here. So I'm thinking if I clamp it, get it accurate here, draw a line, and then do the same on the side. Then I can get the line across here pretty accurate, and then yeah, hopefully it'll fit once I cut it. So give that a go. Okay, so I've managed to get a decent fit. Just with a couple of clamps, it still needs a little bit of work, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So we've got a little bit section sticking out there, but that can be easily panel beated, but you can see down there. It's not too bad, a little bit wonky, but you know, nothing that can't be filled with weld. Yeah, just joins around the back there. It's a little overlap and just needs to be bashed down there a little bit and filled in. But yeah, it's not bad. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, once I can finesse it a little bit more, especially down on this left-hand side here, just to get that little lip back in, because it's a little bit of a, you can just see running down there, it's actually a little bit of moulding, almost like runs out a little bit in a ridge, so just need to do that a little bit. And yeah, I guess tack underneath and weld underneath on that new section that I made earlier. Alright, so I've got this panel on with the panel alignment clips down the side there, so it's probably a slightly bigger gap than I'd like. However, I'm just going to try and bridge it because I've been flapping around with this thing for ages and I just need to get it on, so it looks pretty good. Pretty good. And underneath there I've drilled all the holes to weld onto that section. Slightly pushed out here, but there's not much I can do about it now, so I'm just going to leave it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that way that's lined up. So we'll just see how the welds go when we put it in. Yeah, that's a pretty enormous gap there, but I'll see if I can fill it in. So yeah, hopefully the warpage is minimal and we can get a nice straight panel. So stay tuned. So that's the panel on. Yeah, overall pretty happy with it. It's not until I burnished it back that you can see that, you know, there's quite a bit of a line here, and because the panel's a bit straight, from an angle, it's I suppose the natural curve of the panel would have probably continued a little bit further out because these panels are sort of straight, so it goes down and then straight. So I think there's not much you can do about that just in bare metal, because I can't get the hammer and dolly behind here to sort of whack it out to sort of lessen that join mark. If I can try and figure out some kind of hammer and dolly system inside here, then I might be able to start evening that out a little bit more. But otherwise, it's just going to have to be some body filler at the end and just smooth that curve out. So that won't be an issue. The main thing is that the rust is all gone and the panel's new behind there, and that'll future-proof it for years to come. So pretty happy for my first attempt. I've stopped here, I've ground it back and then I've burnished it, but I've got to actually fill in all these pinholes, take back the welds a bit more, neaten it up, go back under here. But overall, pretty happy with it. So I guess we'll just continue on from here and see how we go. I'll give you a quick look at the welds close up, just to show you the angle and the sunlight right now should probably show it quite well. Yeah, so there you go. That's the finished product. Yeah, so it's sort of, it looks obvious, but it doesn't look obvious at the same time. So, I think in general, I don't think you'd ever get it much better than that. I mean, you can sort of shrink the metal, and if you can get the hammer and dolly in, good on you, but it's quite hard to do that. So it follows the slope of that wheel arch quite nicely. If you actually look at it from a join perspective, the join's actually quite nice. So, you can't really complain a bit too much about that. I think it's more the fact that it's just a straight panel going down, so it sort of makes it look like it's a little bit straight at the bottom. But yeah, that's just me being a little bit fussy. But yeah, if I could get the hammer and dolly in there, that would sort of take that weld mark out, so I might have to think about how I'm going to do that. But all in all, that's it. First quarter panel patch repair done. And yeah, other than the pinholes, she's on and stable, and I'm reasonably happy with it. Anyway, that's it for this episode. All in all, pretty happy with the first patch repair. I've sorted my gas out. I went down to Bunnings and got a MIG gas system. So $200 deposit plus $99 for the actual canister. And then went to Total Tools and got a regulator. So gas is working well, welder's working well now, so I'm getting pretty good with the tacks. I just followed my routine of just doing a tack, moving on, another tack, cool it down with some air. And by doing that method in between the panel clips, there's very little warpage, so if at all any. So yeah, very happy with that method. And the only warpage you probably get is actually when you grind the welds off. You got to sort of watch the heat generation there as well. So yeah. Anyway, so that's it, and yeah, I'll see you next episode.